Good morning, everyone. My name is Colleen Hernandez from CGI. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Okay, my name is Colleen Hernandez from CGI Business Solutions, and today we are going to be discussing the GearSource open enrollment. Slight change from the last few years. Our benefits are going to begin on April 1st now instead of May 1st. So the elections that we will be discussing and you will be making will begin on April 1st and run through March 31st. Some of you may already be aware that Cigna was no longer an option for us due to group size. We were unable to continue with them, and we shopped the market and came to the conclusion that Aetna is going to be the best option for us, and we're going to take a deeper dive into that in just a couple minutes. So as I already mentioned, benefits are going to begin on April 1st. Whatever elections you make, they're going to remain in effect the entire benefit year unless you have a qualifying event. The middle of the benefits at a glance talks about a few different qualified events that will allow you to make a change. Marriage, for example, birth, etc. Please note that these changes will only allow you to change those enrolled, not the plan that you are enrolled on. So the plan you choose is the plan you choose for the entire year. As we scroll towards the bottom of the page, you have some information regarding how to locate a medical provider through Aetna, as well as a dental provider through Guardian. The only product that has changed this year is the medical. Everything else has remained exactly the same. You have the same dental, vision, life insurance, telemedicine program, absolutely everything. Any benefits are allowed to remain on, any dependent children are allowed to remain on the plan until age 26, and they will term at the end of the month that they turn 26. If everyone can please flip to page 2, we're going to talk about the different Aetna plan options. We are currently offering 4 Aetna plan options. Plan number 1 is the select $6,750 100% integrated RX plan. This is a new, lower costing option for those that are interested. The remaining 3 plans are going to be very similar to the plans you had offered through Cigna. Let's talk about the first column. On this plan, this is a copay plan. You will notice that you have a copay if you go to the doctor's. There's a $35 copay. However, in the event that you need to see a specialist, go to the emergency room, you need inpatient hospitalization or outpatient surgery, there is a copay after you satisfy your deductible, though. In the event that you need to go to a specialist, you are responsible for the first $6,750, and then you will have that $70 copay. If you go to a specialist, it is not going to cost you $6,750. So you're going to pay whatever the contracted rate is until you meet that deductible, and then you'll have the $70 copay. So on this plan, you could end up paying $100, $150 for a specialist, depending upon the services that you have in the office. As I said, you will have a deductible and then a copay for the emergency room visit as well. However, if you go to an urgent care center, it is a straight copay, $100. Some other services, you have laboratory, x-ray, and diagnostic imaging that is going to be covered 100% after you reach your deductible. Deductible was $6,750 for an individual, $13,500 for a family. After you meet that deductible, there is no coinsurance. They will only have co-pays remaining until you get to the $7,350 individual out-of-pocket maximum or the $14,700 family out-of-pocket maximum. On this plan, there's emergency-only coverage, and the prescription, you have access to generic drugs right away with a $10 copay. Any tier 2 or tier 3 medication, you will need to first meet your medical deductible of $6,750 before you have the tier 2 and tier 3 copays coming into place. This plan is going to be a great plan for those that are young, they're healthy, they're not taking any medication. You have, or you're taking a generic medication. You go for your annual physical. Maybe you go to the doctors every now and again with a cold or the flu, whatever the case may be. And this is a lower costing option, which I know many people were interested in the past of a lower costing plan. We're going to look at the rates when we're done reviewing the benefits. Column number 2 is your Aetna Select 2750 HSA with 20% coinsurance. This plan is going to be very similar to the old Cigna HSA that you had. On this plan, you pay for the first $2,750 for an individual or $5,500 for a family. After you meet that deductible, you then pay 20% until you meet your out-of-pocket maximum, with the exception of the primary care and the specialist. After you meet your deductible, you're going to have a copay, either $25 for the primary or $50 for the specialist until you reach your out-of-pocket maximum. Out-of-pocket maximum on this plan is $6,550 for an individual or $13,100 for a family. Scroll down again. This plan only has emergency-only coverage, and the prescription, you are responsible for the deductible before those copays start. However, as a reminder, if anybody is enrolled in this plan, it is an HSA eligible product, which means that you are able to open a banking account where you can deposit money into the account tax-free to use for any qualified medical expenses. There are limitations to the amount that you can contribute on an annual basis. For an individual, you can contribute $3,500. For a family, no more than $7,000. However, if you are 55 or older, you do have the option of contributing up to an additional $1,000. This money, so long as it's used for qualified medical expenses, will not be taxed. This money can also sit in your account. It can grow and grow and grow it and be used in the future for either qualified medical expenses or for retirement expenses. Do keep in mind that qualified medical expenses will also include dental and vision. Let's take a peek at the Select 2000 plan. This again is very similar to your Cigna $2,000 plan. It is a copay plan. You're going to have a copay for the doctor, the specialist, copay for the emergency room, copay for urgent care. Your deductible, which is $2,000 for an individual, $4,000 for a family, is going to kick in if you need lab, x-ray, imaging, inpatient hospitalization, outpatient surgery. You are capped at $4,500 for an individual out of pocket and $9,000 for a family. If you have no coinsurance after you meet that deductible, how are you ever going to reach that out-of-pocket maximum? Once you pay that deductible, you still will have the copays accumulating until you reach the out-of-pocket maximum. So you may never reach it, and you may get 100% everything paid for at the hospital, but you may still have to pay a copay when you go to the doctors, just to let you know, depending upon your particular usage under the account. This plan is also emergency-only coverage, and the prescription drugs are straight copays. So Tier 1 is a $10 copay. Tier 2 is $35 copay. Tier 3 is a $70 copay. And on this plan, you do not need to satisfy the deductible for any of the tiers of prescription drugs. We have one last plan option, which is the Choice POS 500 plan. This plan is the only plan that uses a different network and does have out-of-network benefits. It again is a copay plan, so you're going to have straight copays for the doctor, the specialist, emergency room, urgent care. And if you'll notice, they're exactly the same as on the 2000 plan. After you meet your $500 individual or $1,000 family deductible, you will have 20% responsibility until you satisfy your out-of-pocket maximum, which is $3,000 for an individual or $6,000 for a family. As I mentioned, we do have out-of-network coverage. However, in-network, it will cost you more, both in your responsibility according to the plan, plus you could be balance billed, and therefore I always strongly recommend for everybody to stay inside of the network. This plan, just like the other plan we talked about, does have straight copays for the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 medications. As we recap all of the different medical plan options, I do just want to point out the first 3 plans, they use the Select network. The last plan uses the Choice POS network. Next, you'll notice a greater savings if you were to go to urgent care versus emergency room, or if you go to one of those convenient care centers in CVS, Target, Walgreens versus an urgent care center. So you need to decide what is going to be the best bang for your buck in your particular situation. Also, regarding prescription drugs, you'll have a couple different options. And I just want to make sure that everybody remembers that if you have an antibiotic, Publix will give you certain free antibiotics as well as routine maintenance medication. Some of the other pharmacies will give you low-cost generics. Walgreens, for example, is one of them. You also have Walmart and CVS. They'll give you $4 generics and $10 for a 90-day supply. Another valuable resource is going to be GoodRx, where if you go to goodrx.com, you type in the name of the drug, it's going to tell you some pharmacies in your area and the cost of that medication. And if there's any manufacturer coupons, it's going to be right there on that screen, help you save a little bit of money, especially if you choose a plan 1 or plan 2 and you take any brand name medications. That could be a big savings for you right there. Does anybody have any questions right now? I'm going to unmute everybody on the computer. Did anybody have any questions?
I'm going to have a whole series of dumb ones after being in the wrong meeting for the last 20 minutes, so I'll save it to the end if you can hang on before you duck out. Colleen?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
And what I'm going to do is actually at the end of the meeting, I'm going to give everybody my phone number. I'll put it up on the screen so that we can talk one-on-one and not be inside of the meeting, so that everything can remain private in between the two of us, okay?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Colleen, on the co-insurance,
yes,
that 20% after deductible or whatever the percentage is, what is that based on? Is that based on the price that doctors are billing the insurance?
Nope, it's based upon the contracted rate. Everything is based upon the contracted rate because you do have insurance. So it doesn't matter if they charge you $1 million. If Aetna says, hey, you and I, we have a contract and you're only going to charge us $1,000, it's going to be based upon that $1,000.
Okay.
That was a great question.
And then what is what's the company percentage coverage this year?
the amount that they are covering for your benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Karen, do you want to take that away?
Well, I suppose, Tom, we can talk about that after, but it's the same as last year.
Okay, I'm not even sure what that was last year.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so I'm going to put everybody back on mute then so we can move on.
Right.
Okay, so if we now look at page 4, as I mentioned, with our move to Aetna, we have a couple of perks that I wanted to discuss with you. The first one is that Aetna is very dedicated to your overall well-being, and they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. So if you enroll in the Aetna program, any one of those 4 benefit options, Aetna is going to give you a credit towards the purchase of an Apple Watch. You can actually buy an Apple Watch for as low as $25. Please keep in mind that it will depend upon the model that you choose, as well as the size of the Apple Watch. However, you have 90 days to log on to Springboard Marketplace to make your Apple Watch selection. After those 90 days, you will lose the ability to get the Apple Watch. Another benefit is PureFit, which Aetna provides some group exercise classes for you, and essentially just an overall wellness program to keep you guys healthy and fit. It's also going to include like group exercise classes. I believe you get 4 free a month, and then if you want additional, you can purchase additional from the PureFit platform. But essentially, the whole purpose of both the PureFit wellness program and the Apple Watch is a healthier you is going to in turn mean less claims and less that Aetna is going to pay on your behalf. I have unmuted everyone for a second. Did anybody have any questions about that before we moved on to the dental? Okay, excellent. I'm sticking everybody back on mute, and we're going to talk about the dental benefits. The dental benefits are exactly the same as last year. You do have 2 different plan options. You have the DHMO, which is available in Florida only, so for anybody residing outside the state. I'm sorry, you will only have the option of a PPO. The DHMO, you must pick a dentist and see that dentist. You can change your dentist at any point in time, but you must call Guardian in order to change your dentist before you see that new dentist. There is a $5 office visit charge, and then there are copays for absolutely every single covered service. This plan does include both child and adult orthodontia. Second plan that we have is a PPO option. This plan has a larger network of dentists to choose from. You have both in and out of network dentists that you could use as well. This plan, you have a $1,000 annual calendar year maximum. So that means, just so everybody is on the same page, that every single January, your benefits replenish itself. So if you're already on the PPO and you've had some kind of dental service from January 1st through now, that is eating at this year, the 2019 calendar year maximum, which will then replenish itself again on January 1st. Any preventative work done in the network, absolutely no charge. Any preventative outside of the network is going to cost you 20%. Any basic work such as fillings, root canal, deep cleanings, you will need to satisfy your $50 individual deductible before the co-insurance kicks in, which is 20% if you stay in the network, 30% out of the network. Any major work is covered 50% in network or 60% out of network after you pay that deductible. When we talk about the calendar year maximum, the $1,000 that Guardian will pay on your behalf, it is quite possible, since you guys have had this benefit for a couple of years now, that some individuals may have a larger bucket of money. If you go to the dentist, you must go to the dentist and have a claim, and you do not use more than $500 worth of benefit, Guardian will reward you and roll over an additional amount of money into your annual maximum bucket. It's either $250 if you see dentists that are outside of the network, or $350 if you only see dentists that are within your network. And those figures are again on towards the top of the page. And a little reminder on the bottom of the page how you can locate whether or not your dentist is participating within your network. I'm going to take a second and unmute everybody one more time. Questions on the dental?
Nope.
Excellent. Moving on to the vision, which again is the exact same as last year. Vision insurance is through Guardian using the Davis Vision Network. You have both in and out of network coverage. In the event you need an eye exam, you're going to pay $10 in the network. During that eye exam, they tell you that you need glasses. You're then given a $130 retail allowance. And if you purchase glasses at an in-network place other than Sam's or Walmart, you're also going to receive 20% off that balance. So if I get an eye exam and I need glasses, if I get regular regular lenses for my frames, I could essentially walk out of there with a pair of glasses priced at $130 or less, paying nothing more than $35. $25 for the lenses, $10 for the eye exam. If you go out of network, you absolutely may do so. You pay 100%, and then you have to submit a claim, and you are reimbursed money depending upon the services that you had. One thing I do want to remind everyone is that you can only get frames every other year, while you can get an exam and covered contact lenses every other year. So if it's your off year where you don't have the frame allowance, you have a couple different options. Number one, you can get contact lenses. Number two, you can pop the lenses out of your old frames, put the new ones in. Or option number three is you can pay out of pocket and still get a discount for having the insurance. You're just not going to receive the allowance that you would have. I'm going to get questions in a couple minutes. The next thing I did want to talk about, though, is the telemedicine package that you guys all have available to you. The telemedicine package is offered free of charge to anyone that is enrolled on the medical program. This is a great, highly underutilized benefit to everyone. The telemedicine, you can actually speak with an MD, a licensed medical doctor, 24/7, regardless of where you are. So if I am, let's say I'm out of the country, and I have this weird bite on my arm, and I'm in the Amazon, so I'm not quite sure what it is, and I'm a little worried. You can FaceTime with a doctor, and they can say, oh, that's nothing, don't worry about it. Or they can tell you, hey, that's not looking so great, maybe you want to get that checked out. If I think I have pink eye and I'm at work and I don't want to leave, I have so much going on, I can FaceTime with the doctor. He'll take a look at my eye, he'll call me a prescription, I go to my pharmacy, and it's ready by the time I get there. I mean, it is a great benefit. Next two things we're talking about is going to be wellness online and alternative medicine. As we get to the age where everybody's talking about being healthier and living longer and not putting chemicals in their body and those kind of things, these are programs you may want to take a look at. You also have vitamin discount, discount on durable medical equipment, hearing aids, any diabetic supplies. Plus, this program offers discounts for pet care. You can actually save up to 25% at participating veterinarians. My sister-in-law's dog was just in the emergency room. Turns out that she has pneumonia. But $4,000. If she would have had this program, she could save, up to $1,000. That's a large chunk of change. So I do hope that everybody that is enrolled in the medical program signs in and starts taking advantage of these benefits that you guys are provided. Just a few more things, and then I will unmute everybody and we'll see if anybody has any questions. As a friendly reminder, GearSource cares about all of their employees, and they provide all full-time employees with a $15,000 life insurance policy that has an accidental death and dismemberment rider. So in the event that you were to, unfortunately, it's your time to go, your beneficiary will receive $15,000. If you pass away due to an accident, they are going to get $30,000. Certain restrictions will start to take place as soon as you turn 65. But open enrollment is the time to take a look and make sure you update your beneficiaries. If you got married, maybe you want to make sure your wife is on the plan. If you were to get divorced, you probably want to make sure that your ex is no longer on the plan. So open enrollment is the time to do so. Next, just going to remind everybody about the college tuition benefit that I've been talking about for years now. If you're enrolled in the dental, Guardian gives you a college tuition benefit. You do need to register on the website in order to receive the benefit, and you have 6 months from your renewal date to receive that year's benefit. It's great even if you don't have a qualified beneficiary right now, but just to remind everyone, qualified beneficiaries include children, stepchildren, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, godchildren. So essentially, you can cover the neighbor's kid on the college tuition benefit and start accumulating some money to use towards a beneficiary's future college education. All you have to do is take about 5 minutes and sign up for the website. More information will be on Employee Navigator. Next, you also have an employee assistance program. Great tool online. There are many resources, including some things on debt management or how to create a budget, and it just means a whole bunch of different things. Plus, you get telephonic help unlimited, and if it's something that you feel that you want to sit down and talk to an individual about, you actually get 3 free face-to-face sessions. This way you can talk to somebody else, get an outside opinion. Sometimes it's just nice when you talk to somebody that's outside of the situation. And then over here we have enrollment instructions. I believe everybody has already registered on the website at least once, so you'll be a returning user, and you'll just go to Employee Navigator. You're going to put in your login information, username, password, and go on through open enrollment, which I'm going to show you how to do in a second. And the absolute most important thing on the entire page is the context. Doesn't matter if you know the answer, as long as you know where to get the answer from. That's really the most important part. Anybody have any questions about anything we talked about before I hop over to Employee Navigator?
No.
Okay, excellent. So let me pull up. So right over here is the Employee Navigator homepage. You go to employeenavigator.com. You're going to click Login. You're going to type in your username and your password. If you forgot your password, click right over here to reset a forgotten password. You're going to receive an email with a link where you can reset your password. Once you log in, this is the screen that you will see. This is my demo employee screen right over here. You see that green start enrollment button? That's what you're going to click on. Right over here is going to be start enrollment. And of course, my connection went down for a second. Give it 1 second. Here we go. Open enrollment gets started right here. And I'm going to go on ahead and plug in my address and hit save and continue. I'm just going to skip it right now. I'm going to plug in any dependent information. If I don't have any dependents, I can hit save and continue. If I need to add a new dependent, right over here, I'm going to add the dependent and then save and continue. Okay, over here is your medical page, which I just wanted to show everybody because I know we were talking about pricing. So right on the right-hand side, some information on the PeerFit, the Apple Watch information. You have the SBCs where you can look up more details about what is covered by the plan. You also have the link where you can locate a provider. Right over here for you. And then the what does it cost? Here are the costs for everybody as an individual. You can also click on compare, and it's going to pull up side by side all 4 different plans and the cost per tier. And if you scroll down, it will give you a little refresher about their benefits. If you do not want the plan, you're going to click don't want this benefit, and the reason you don't want this benefit. If you do want the benefit, you are going to click on select and then save and continue. The next page is the health savings account. If you do not enroll in the HSA eligible plan, you're going to get unable to enroll in the screen, and that is completely normal. You're going to go make all your elections at the end of the page, and then once you're done with all of the sections, it's going to take you to the enrollment summary. It's going to tell me enrollment not complete on the right-hand side. It will have all the little dashes. Those are the sections that are incomplete that I need to go back and finish. If everything is completed, it's going to say click to sign, and you guys are absolutely done. Any questions about anything at all whatsoever? All right, so give me 1 second. I want to throw my contact information up just so everybody can jot it down. And if anybody has any questions, you can reach me. I am here all day long.
Colleen.
Yes.
Is it possible to select like the HSA plan with this and then also get coverage on our own outside of this?
It is possible. I don't know why you would want the double coverage because there is coordination of benefits. So if it's you getting the plan here through your employer, this plan is going to be primary. And then if you were to have another plan, let's say through your spouse, that will be secondary, and they still have to coordinate with one another. So the double insurance outside of like a Medicare type of situation usually isn't worth it. But that is something that you could do, yes.
Okay. And then I know I asked earlier, but is there a way for us to find out like the company contribution on the individual and spouse and all that kind of stuff?
I'm going to shoot an email. I'm going to shoot an email to everyone.
Okay, great.
Colleen?
Yes.
Currently, my wife and I are with Aetna through her employer.
Uh-huh.
If we were to switch to this program, being that it's at a different timing, I mean, hers starts in the fall.
Uh-huh.
Is there a way to switch into this program mid-season? Or how?
Okay. So, yes, you can come on this plan because it is open enrollment. So you would be able to come on, no questions asked right now. However, whatever money you have already paid towards your deductible, you're going to lose because you weren't covered under GearSource, whereas everybody else that was covered under the GearSource Cigna policy only the GearSource Cigna policy. If you have your most recent explanation of benefits, you can fax it over to Aetna, and you are able to get deductible credit. They're going to credit the amount that you've paid during the 2019 calendar year. So Steve, I believe that was you, my computer said, right?
Correct.
Okay, so Steve, you could come on, but you wouldn't be able to take advantage of the deductible credit because you were not part of the GearSource program previously.
Yeah, I don't think there's much deductible
Okay,
credit.
perfect. Yeah, it's
That's
still
accrued,
there
but-
early in the year, so sometimes there
Right.
is, sometimes there's not. All right, so if nobody has any other questions, I am available for personal questions anytime throughout the course of the day today. My telephone number is on the screen, and thank you all very much for your time.
Thanks, Colleen.
All right, my pleasure. Take care.